Finally, welcome back to Marble League Football. After a wonderful, successful first official regular season of MLF, we advance to the big tournaments, the playoffs. In one conference, we have the number 1 seeded Serpents facing off the number 4 seeded Dinos, the number 2 seeded Wranglers going against the star-studded number 3 seed Knights. In the other conference, we have the number 1 seeded Spartans facing off the rivals, the Tigers with the number 4 seed, and we have the Pirates at the number 2 seed facing off the number 3 seed Mustangs. Look for it to be a great star-studded playoffs for our first official playoffs, and as we look to crown our first ever official Marble League Football champion. Look for it to be some great games, some rivalries that will be created here as each team already played each other once in the season. Look for some great rematches as we kick off our first official Marble League Football playoffs. Here we go. Our first matchup of the playoffs will feature the Serpents and the Dinos. The Serpents finished the season with a 7-3 record, averaging 30 points per game to win that number 1 seed, while the Dinos are on a win streak to lock in that number 4 seed. They finished with a 6-4 record and they averaged 29 points per game. Both teams played each other in week 3, where the Serpents come out victorious 24-12. Can the Serpents recreate that outcome, or will the Dinos spoil the Serpents' great season? The Dinos are on a winning streak, but the Serpents are very hot and looking like the best team in the league right now. Here we go to start the playoffs. The Serpents will start the game with the ball. Again, they have a very hard offense to score with, so they want to put up some points to start the game. Field goal and a penalty. They start off with a field goal, 3-point lead. They have a retry here. No points. Dinos trailing by 3, step on the field the first time on offense. And they get stopped, no points. Great defensive stop here by the Serpents. Can they add to the 3-point lead here? Another field goal, make it 6-0. Dinos are down 6 points, 1 possession. They can easily take the lead here before halftime if they can. Field goal, make it 6-3. They're trailing 3. There's a penalty. They will have another chance here before halftime. No, they get stopped. Score is 6-3 going into the third quarter. How can the Dinos respond here? No points! What a defensive clinic by the Serpents. They have a chance here to increase their lead. Touchdown! 13-3 going into the fourth quarter. Dinos need something big here if they want to stay alive in this game. Touchdown! Field goal! They tie the game up with a penalty. They have a chance here to take the lead. No, they get stopped. No, not what the Dinos needed. Serpents have a chance here to win the game. Field goal, touchdown! Your Serpents advance to the semifinals. What a game in the first ever official Marble League playoff football game. The Serpents defeat the Dinos again, just like they did back in the regular season. They win 23-13. They advance to the season semifinals. They will face the winner of the Wranglers or the Knights. Keep in mind, they have defeated all 3 teams here in their conference, so they're looking mighty high in the playoffs. As for the Dinos, their season comes to an end here, but nothing to put their heads down. They had a great season making the first ever playoffs. Look for them to bounce back even harder next year. As we take pivot to the other side of the conference, we have the Spartans and the Tigers facing off again. The Spartans, 6-4, number 1 seed. Tigers, 5-5, number 4 seed. The Spartans lost to the Tigers in week 4, 24-34. The Tigers at the time were on a big winning streak and they looked like they were the best team in the league, but they had some hiccups going into the playoffs. Though they made it, they finished 500, 5-5, not what they wanted to see, but the Spartans finished on a winning streak. Can the Spartans avenge their loss to the Tigers here in the playoffs in the most important game thus far to make it to the semifinals? Here, the Spartans will have the ball here to start the game. Can they score? Field goal, 2 field goals. Make it an early 6-point lead over the Tigers. How can the Tigers respond here with the first time on offense on the field? Touchdown and a field goal. They take a 4-point lead going into the second quarter. 6-10, Spartans trail. Field goal, make it 9-10. Down 1 point. How can the Tigers extend their lead before halftime? Touchdown! Make it 17-9 going into the third quarter. They have an 8-point lead. Touchdown! They extend their lead 24-9 and a penalty. They have another chance here to extend their lead and put up more points. They get stopped. Spartans need something huge here. They trail in the third quarter, 9-24. 2 penalties and a stop. Not what you want to see. They still have 2 tries here. Can they take advantage? No! No points! Spartans losing to the Tigers again here in the fourth quarter. Tigers, they had 3 penalties here. First time we see it in the playoffs. They have 3 chances here again. There's 1 stop. Oh! Big defensive stop by the Spartans. Here's their chance here to win. Can they do it? Field goal. Field goal. No! It is not enough. 15-24, your Spartans lose to the Tigers once again. The Tigers defeat the Spartans. They have the upper hand on them so far again here in the season. Don't mind the typo. Score was 24-15. Your Spartans, as the number 1 seed, fall to the number 4 seed Tigers. The Tigers advance on to the semifinals, where they will face the winner of the Mustangs and the Pirates. The Tigers seem to have the upper hand over the Spartans. Spartans will have a tough loss here to look into the offseason. Look for them to bounce back next year against their rivals, the Tigers. The next game we have is the Wranglers and the Knights, what looks to be the most exciting game here in the first round. Both teams ended at 7-3. Wranglers with the best defense in the league, Knights with the best offense in the league. When both teams played each other in the regular season in week 2, the Wranglers defeated the Knights 30-27 in a high point shootouts. Will it be the same here, or will the Knights come out victorious over the Wranglers? The Wranglers have had a bumpy road going into the playoffs, losing 2 out of the last 3 games, while the Knights are looking high, scoring the most points. Look for it to be a great one here, as the winner will play the Serpents in the semifinals. The Wranglers will start the game with the ball. Touchdown to take an early 7-point lead over the Knights. The Knights have a high-powered offense. Can they put it to display here in the playoffs against one of the best defenses in the league? They put up a field goal, make it 7-3 going into the second quarter. How can the Wranglers respond? Field goal. 2 field goals. Make it 13-3. They have a 10-point lead over the Knights. How can the Knights respond here before going to halftime? They're down 10. No points! What a defensive stop by the Wranglers. So far, their defense has proven potent over this offense. Knights have the ball here in the second half. Touchdown! They cut the deficit down to 3 points, make it 13-10. Wranglers' first time here in the third quarter. No points! They get stopped! The Knights have a chance here to take the lead if they can. The score is 13-10. Can they do it? Field goal! Touchdown! They take a 20-13 point lead in the fourth quarter. Wranglers need something here to stay alive. Can they beat the Knights again to advance to the semifinals? Touchdown! Field goal! Wranglers take down the Knights again! 23-20, they advance to the semifinals to play the Serpents. What a game! What a game! Best game so far of this playoffs this year. Wranglers defeat the Knights 23-20, just like how they did in week 2, 3-point game. The Wranglers prove that having a top-tier defense will outlast having a really high offense, and they advance to face in a rematch against the Serpents in the semifinals, the number 1 seed against the number 2 seed. The Wranglers will have to be prepared, while the Knights finish their season at 7-3. Look for them to bounce back against next year. Next match, we have the Pirates and the Mustangs. Pirates finished at 6-4, averaging 30 points per game. They are the number 2 seed, while the Mustangs are the number 3 seed at 5-5, averaging 28 points per game. When the Pirates and the Mustangs played in week 7, the Mustangs beat the Pirates 37-28 in a thriller. Look for it to be a great rematch game, as the Pirates look for revenge on the Mustangs, while the Mustangs want to make their dominance over this Pirates team to create a potential rivalry going into the future. Look for it to be a great game in the last game of the first round of our MLF playoffs. The Pirates will start the game with the ball here. Let's see what they do on offense. No points, but there is a penalty. They'll have a retry. Can they take advantage? No, they get stopped. What a defensive stop by the Mustangs. Can they put up some points here on the first time on offense? Touchdown! They take an early 7-point lead over the Pirates. Going into the second quarter, Pirates trailing 1 possession. Touchdown! There's a penalty. Score is tied. Have a chance here to take the lead if they can. No, they get stopped. Wait. Right before halftime, Mustangs are tied 7-7 with the Pirates. Can they take the lead before half? Touchdown and a field goal! They do! 10-point lead going into halftime. They have the ball here to start the third. Field goal! And a stop, but there is a penalty. Score is 20-7. Can they extend their lead? No, they get stopped. Pirates trailing 13 points. Touchdown! 14-20 going into the fourth quarter. Mustangs need something big here to win this game. And they get stopped! Just what the Pirates needed. They have a chance here to win the game with a touchdown. Touchdown! Your Pirates! They come back to win this game. They will advance to the semifinals. Wow, what a game! The Pirates knock off the Mustangs when it mattered. They lost to them earlier in the season, But when it matters here in the playoffs, the Pirates take revenge over the Mustangs. They beat them 21-20 in the thriller. They were down 13 points, 7-20 going into the third, but they pull off the comeback to win this game. Wow, Pirates, with the number 2 seed, will play the Tigers in the semifinals. While the Mustangs finished their season early, unfortunately, but look for them to have a bounce back next season as they had a great season, making the playoffs in the first ever Marble League football season. Here we move on to the semifinals of the Marble League football season playoffs. The Serpents will take on the Wranglers, and the Tigers will take on the Pirates. Look for these to be great games for all the stakes. Each team has played each other already in the season, so there will be a rematch. Potential rivalries will be created. And again, the winners of the semifinals will play in the first ever Marble League football championship game. In our first game in the semifinals will feature the Tigers and the Pirates. The Pirates and the Tigers played off in week 3 of the season, and the Tigers beat the Pirates 36-33 in a thriller. Pirates averaging 30 points per game, Tigers averaging 29 points per game. Look for it to be a great rematch where the Pirates seem to be the higher seed and the Tigers want to make an upset even though they beat them earlier as the number 4 seed. Which team will advance to the first ever Marble League football championship game? Only the best team will come out of this conference as conference champions. Here we go. And to start off the game, the Pirates will have the ball here. And they get stopped on their first 2 possessions. There is a penalty. Can they take advantage? They don't. They get stopped. What a defensive stop here by the Tigers. And they get stopped too. Defensive clinic by both teams so far. In the second quarter, we come here scoreless. 2 field goals by the Pirates to take an early 6-point lead over the Tigers. Can they respond? Field goal. Going into the halftime, Pirates lead over the Tigers 6-3. Tigers have the ball here to start the third quarter, down 3 points. Field goal, make it 6-6. Pirates have a chance here for the first time in the third quarter to take the lead. Can they do it? Touchdown! And a penalty. 13-6. Can they capitalize? They don't. They get stopped. Going into the fourth quarter, Tigers trail by 7 points. To stay alive, 2 field goals. No! It is not enough. Your Pirates will advance to the first ever MLF championship game. The Pirates take down the Tigers in the most important game of the playoffs here, 19-12 in an epic rematch of a defensive battle between both teams. They leave the Tigers to only 6 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. They advance to the first ever championship game in Marble League football. They will play the winner between the Serpents and the Wranglers. What a game. Their Pirates at the number 2 seed, like the most dominant with their strong defense going into this whole playoffs. If their offense picks it up, look for them to be a dark horse to win the whole thing. Finally, we move over to our last game in the semifinals between the Serpents and the Wranglers, a game everyone has been waiting to see. Both teams finished at 7-3. Serpents beat the Wranglers in week 6, 34-20 to hand them their first loss in the season. The Wranglers want to look for revenge over the Serpents because the Serpents took the number 1 seed away from them and made them drop to the number 2 seed here. Serpents averaging 30 points per game, Wranglers 26 points per game. The two have the 2 best defenses in the league, but the Serpents have one of the best offenses in the league. Look for this rematch game to be one of the best games in the season for the championship game. Let's go! The Serpents have the ball here to start the game. Field goal. 2 field goals. They start off the game early with a 6-point lead and a penalty. Can they take advantage? Touchdown! The Serpents with their high-powered offense scored 13 points right off the gates. How can the Wranglers respond? Touchdown! Field goal! And a penalty! Wow, what a game so far here in the first quarter. They get stopped. Going into the second quarter, Serpents lead 13-10. Can they extend their lead here? Touchdown! Touchdown! And a field goal! 30 points here in the first half from the Serpents. Can the Wranglers keep up here with that high-powered offense? Field goal! It is not enough. Going into halftime, scores 30-13. Serpents are up. The Wranglers will start the ball here in the second half. No, they get stopped. There is a penalty. They need something big here. If not, this game could get out of hand. Touchdown. They are still in this game down 10 points. The Serpents have the ball here to start in the third quarter. They're up 10. Touchdown. 2 touchdowns. 44-20. Wow, the Serpents looking too dominant for the Wranglers. What can the Wranglers do? Touchdown and a field goal. It is not enough. Your Serpents, with a dominant performance here, advance to the first ever MLF championship game. They defeat the Wranglers again, 47-30 in a dominant performance. They seem to have the number over this team, and they show this whole league that they are the best team going into this championship game. They defeat them 47-30. They score 5 touchdowns, 4 field goals, and only 3 turnovers. The Wranglers, 3 touchdowns, 3 field goals, 6 turnovers. What a great season by the Wranglers, but unfortunately, they come up short against the new rival team, the Serpents. The Serpents looking super dominant, the best offense, and what could be maybe even the best defense going into this championship game against the Pirates. Look for it to be a star-studded matchup thus far. Here we have the final brackets of our first ever MLF playoff season. We have the Serpents and the Pirates meeting each other in the first ever MLF championship football game. The Serpents looking super dominant, probably the best offense in the league here, and the Pirates with the strong, super strong defense looking to play spoiler here. The number 1 seed in their conference, the Serpents, the number 2 seed in their conference, the Pirates, tag along and meet each other in the first ever Marble League Football Championship game. Look for it to be a great one, and I expect everyone to tune in to see the best of the best go at it. We will have a season recap before the championship game and send out awards to each team that won them. Thank you so much, Marble League Football. We'll see you next time.